know we would not be able to think properly. Number 3, the process by which we develop a sense of self, referred to as the looking glass self, was developed by C. Charles Horton Cooley. Now, if you got that wrong, for example, you don't have to write down every word of the sentence. All you have to write down is looking glass self, Charles Horton Cooley. That's it. That's all you have to remember, okay? Number 4, Professor Zale bases her self-concept as a professor on the interactions she has with students and the reactions she receives from them during class. In view of this, which process is Professor Zale utilizing? She's utilizing B, Cooley's looking glass self. Because if you remember, what the looking glass self has to do with is forming your own self-image as a result of the interaction with the other. So in this case, Professor Zale is interacting with class members. Number 5, the symbolic interactionist who taught at the University of Chicago and stressed that play was crucial to the development of the concept of self was C. George Herbert Mead. Again, you don't have to write down every single word. All you have to write down is play, important to development, George Herbert Mead. George Herbert Mead. He was the one who stressed that play is crucial, that means important, to development. Number 6. Torrey is 5 years of age. He loves to dress up in like Batman and pretend to save Gotham City from the Penguin. According to Mead's theory, he is in the C, play stage. Play stage. C. You only have to write it down if you got it wrong. If you got it right, if you didn't know it, then write it down. You okay? What's the matter?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. What's the matter, Sanan? Of the following traits and abilities, which one would George Herbert Mead consider most essential for an individual to be a full-fledged member of society? The answer is A, the ability to take the role of another. With Mead, that was one of the most important things, to be able to, that's A, to be able to step into the shoes of another person, to be able to see the world as the other person sees it. It's called taking on the role of the other. That's George Herbert Mead.
Empathy.
It makes empathy possible. If you do not, if you cannot take on the role of the other, then it's not possible to have empathy. You have to be able to step in your imagination, step into someone else's shoes, according to George Herbert Mead. Otherwise, you can't feel empathy. Yes? Number 8. Mead describes the active, creative, and spontaneous part of the self as the I. It's the letter A. The letter A, and it's the I that, remember the I and the me? It's the I that is the spontaneous, creative part of the self. Number 9. According to Piaget, the stage of development that is dominated by touching, listening, looking, and the inability to recognize cause and effect is Number 11, the technique created by Sigmund Freud for the treatment of emotional problems through long-term intensive exploration of the subconscious is referred to as C, psychoanalysis. All you have to write down is Freud, psychoanalysis, subconscious. No, it's number 11. Number 11 is C. The answer is psychoanalysis, and you want to remember that psychoanalysis is attached to Freud and the subconscious mind. Number 12, in Freud's theory, what part of the personality represents the pleasure-seeking aspect, demanding immediate fulfillment of basic needs, such as attention, food, safety, and sex? And the answer is A, the id. I-D, the id, the letter A. Yeah.
What is about the state?
C was the superego. The superego is the part of society that we internalize within ourselves. So that's not the pleasure-seeking, spontaneous, that's not it. That's the id. The superego is when we take the values of the society around us and we internalize them. We make them our own. That's the superego, according to Freud.
What was the question? What was the question?
The question is, in Freud's theory, what part of the personality represents the pleasure-seeking aspect, demanding immediate fulfillment, that's not superego, of basic needs, such as attention, food, safety, and sex? If it were the superego would be asking, should I have this food? Should I not have this food? Is this food good for me? Is this food not good for me? That's the superego. Do they expect me to eat this food? Should I not eat this food? Am I supposed to eat this food? That's the superego. The id is, I want this food. Okay? Number 13. In psychoanalytic theory, of course that's Freud, right? Psychoanalytic theory. The culture within us is represented by the A, superego. We've taken the values of the culture around us and we've made it our own, superego. Number 14. Why do many sociologists object to psychoanalysis as a valid explanation for human behavior? The answer is D. Sociologists object to the view that inborn drives, inborn and subconscious motivations. That was Freud, right? Freud said that inborn subconscious motivations, which are represented by the id, are the primary motivators in human nature. That's what Freud said. And that's the thing that sociologists object to. They do not believe that they're the primary, that the inborn drives are the primary. Sociologists believe that it is a result, your behavior is not just a result of your inborn drives, it's also a result of your interaction with society. So the answer to number 14 is D. Sociologists object to the view that inborn and subconscious motivations are the primary reasons for human behavior. Number 15. What is the proposed source of the 6 specific emotions that Paul Ekman identified as being present in all cultures? or not understanding? No one understands? Okay. Yeah. You don't understand number 15? Okay. The question says, well, first of all, let me tell you what, again, I'll repeat what the issue is. Paul Ekman was someone who looked at different countries, different societies, and he looked at facial expression, the expression on your face. And he identified 6 things: anger, sadness, fear. There were 6 of them. And he saw that these 6 expressions on your face were the same, whether you came from country A or country B or country C, it didn't matter. They all looked the same. So because they're all the same, Paul Ekman said these 6 feelings are hardwired into us, meaning we're born with the ability to have these feelings. They're a product of our genes, of our nature, yes. So the question says, question 15, what is the proposed source of the 6 specific emotions that Paul Ekman identified as being present in all cultures? And the answer is B, they are a product of our genes. Number 16, the Smiths are going Christmas shopping for their 2 children, Dick and Jane. They plan to buy Dick a truck and Jane a doll. Their selection of toys for their children is an example of D, gender socialization by parents, meaning that the little boy, Dick, is being taught how to play like a little boy. They got him a truck. The little girl, Jane, is being taught how to play like a little girl. They got her a doll. It's called gender socialization. Number 17.